My name is Black, and I want to share with you my journey of learning to speak English confidently with everyone. This story is about overcoming fear, embracing challenges, and achieving personal growth. For many years, the idea of speaking English felt like an unreachable goal. I was intimidated, insecure, and uncertain about where to begin. But over time, I discovered strategies, built habits, and found the courage to speak freely. My journey was far from perfect, but every step taught me something valuable. If you're struggling with speaking English or hesitant to start, I hope my experience inspires you to take that first step. When I first tried speaking English, the biggest obstacle was the fear of being judged. I worried about mispronouncing words, using incorrect grammar, or not being understood. This fear was paralyzing and it often stopped me from even trying. I remember one incident in school when a teacher asked me to read a passage in English. My hands shook, my voice wavered, and I stumbled over the words. The experience left me embarrassed, and I avoided speaking English in public for a long time. In addition to fear, I lacked confidence. Even when I knew the right words, I doubted myself. I would rehearse sentences in my head repeatedly, but when it came time to speak, I froze. This constant self-doubt made me feel like I wasn't good enough to communicate in English. Growing up in a non-English speaking environment meant I had few opportunities to practice. Most of my interactions were in my native language, and English felt like an abstract concept confined to textbooks. Real-life conversations seemed out of reach, and without regular practice, my progress was slow. One day I realized that learning to speak English was more than just an academic requirement. It was a key to endless opportunities. English is a global language, and being able to speak it would allow me to connect with people from different cultures, access better job opportunities, and travel confidently. This realization gave me the motivation to take my first steps. I started by setting clear, achievable goals. Instead of aiming for fluency overnight, I focused on small milestones. My first goal was to greet someone in English without hesitation. Then, I aimed to hold short conversations, like ordering food at a restaurant or asking for directions. These small, measurable goals made the process less overwhelming and gave me a sense of accomplishment. To build a strong foundation, I started with the basics. I revisited simple phrases and everyday vocabulary, ensuring I had a good grasp of common words and expressions. I also labeled items around my house with sticky notes in English. Seeing words like chair, window, and table every day helped reinforce my memory. One of the first techniques I used was talking to myself in English. Every morning I would stand in front of the mirror and practice sentences like, "Today I will go to the market," or "I want to learn something new." This exercise helped me get comfortable hearing my own voice in English and improve my confidence. Consistency was key. I created a daily routine that included listening to English podcasts, reading simple articles, and practicing speaking for at least 15 minutes. Breaking my practice into small, manageable chunks made it easier to stay consistent without feeling overwhelmed. Listening played a crucial role in my learning process. I started watching English movies and TV shows with subtitles. At first, I chose children's shows because the language was simple and easy to understand. Over time, I graduated to more complex content like dramas and documentaries. Listening to native speakers helped me understand pronunciation, rhythm, and natural expressions. Music became another powerful tool for learning. I listened to English songs, looked up their lyrics, and sang along. This not only improved my pronunciation, but also made learning fun. Podcasts were equally valuable because they exposed me to different accents and conversational styles. One of the most transformative habits I developed was thinking in English. Instead of forming thoughts in my native language and translating them, I started thinking directly in English. For example, if I needed to plan my day, I would mentally list tasks in English. I will clean my room, then study for an hour, and later call my friend. This habit made speaking more natural and spontaneous. The first people I practiced speaking English with were my friends. We formed a small group where we could practice without fear of judgment. We kept our conversations simple, using basic sentences and phrases. Encouraging each other created a supportive environment that boosted our confidence. As I gained confidence, I joined online language exchange platforms like HelloTalk and Tandem. These platforms connected me with native speakers and other learners from around the world. Chatting with strangers was nerve-wracking at first, but it pushed me out of my comfort zone and improved my conversational skills. One of the most challenging yet rewarding experiences was speaking to strangers in English. I remember visiting a tourist spot in my city and starting a conversation with a traveler. Although it was a short exchange, it felt like a huge victory. It showed me that most people are kind and willing to help when they see you're making an effort. Mistakes were inevitable, but I learned to embrace them as part of the process. I'll never forget the time I confused kitchen with chicken during a conversation. The person I was speaking with laughed, and so did I. Instead of feeling embarrassed, I asked them to explain the difference. Moments like these taught me to view errors as opportunities for growth. Receiving feedback was crucial. Whenever someone corrected me, I made a note of it and practiced until I got it right. Over time, I became less afraid of being corrected and more focused on improving. Every small achievement boosted my confidence. Whether it was successfully ordering food in English or understanding a joke in a movie, I celebrated these milestones. Acknowledging progress kept me motivated to keep learning. As I practiced more, my speech became more fluent and natural. I stopped overthinking every word and started speaking more freely. Techniques like shadowing, repeating after native speakers, helped me develop a better flow and rhythm. A turning point in my journey was when I participated in a group discussion during a workshop. For the first time, I spoke confidently and contributed ideas in English. The positive feedback I received boosted my self-esteem and motivated me to keep improving. I also learned to embrace my unique accent and style of speaking. Instead of trying to sound like a native speaker, I focused on being clear and authentic. This shift in mindset made speaking English more enjoyable. Start small. Begin with simple sentences and everyday vocabulary. Be consistent. Practice a little every day, even if it's just 10 minutes. Embrace mistakes. They're a natural part of learning. Surround yourself with English. Listen, read, and speak as much as possible. Be patient. Progress takes time, but every step counts. Remember, everyone's journey is unique. Don't compare yourself to others, and don't be afraid to take the first step. Speaking English is not about being perfect. It's about communicating and connecting with others. Looking back on my journey, I'm proud of how far I've come. Speaking English has opened up so many opportunities and allowed me to connect with people from all over the world. If I can do it, so can you. The key is to start small, stay consistent, and never give up. Remember, every word you speak brings you one step closer to fluency. Thank you for reading my story, and I wish you the best on your own journey.